Hey, what's up? I'm Vanessa Silberman. Here are a few tips for you and your band to know when to go to radio.
Do it yourself, motherfucker.
And also, this is subjective and definitely depends on the band and artist. And I'm just going to base these tips on going to college radio because this is all about developing artists and DIY. So let's talk about a few things to consider. If your band or you as an artist is putting out an EP or an album and you have a budget that is beyond marketing content, paying for ads, paying for music videos and your music, and you are heavily in touring, because we're talking about something that's a little more traditional. Radio is much more traditional releases. And really, when I think about radio and giving artists and bands advice surrounding working radio in a college sense, is really about when you're releasing an album or an EP and you're touring and you have extra budget for that. And it's in addition to even, let's say, another traditional thing like PR. And the reason why is because radio really also plays a big part with being present in other markets and cities. Though, of course, that also is subjective because you could base marketing in a radio sense. Wherever you get played, that's where you go tour. But traditionally speaking, if you think about it, if your band has your music, and you're working an album and you've shot music videos, you've got tons of content, you have a budget for marketing, and then in addition, a budget for PR like press, and you're working that in a more traditional way. And then also you're doing ads, and then leftover, in addition to doing touring, you have a budget to do a college radio campaign. And I would encourage artists, if you're considering to do radio, to do it around a bigger release. And when you're supporting it, that way you can use all these tools at once versus if you're just putting out a single. Most of the time, college radio doesn't want just singles. They prefer albums. They prefer more songs to listen to and have the choice. They also like physical products. A lot of radio stations these days, especially colleges, they also will listen to digital releases, but they're just a bit more traditional where they like physical product as well. And again, this is very subjective, but some things to really consider is when you're working out your budget for a release, you really want to start with the music and the content first, and then work your way out from that. So you've got your music, your content, advertising, marketing, and then the other things kind of get filled in after. And I think radio, just as a tip, just having the additional budget, you really want to be in a space where you're able to if you decide to do the strategy of doing radio play first, seeing where you're getting play, and then tour out there. And that kind of helps you get shows in some ways. But also, additionally, if you are doing a tour and you've got radio, that's another way to promote because you can do in-studio performances and reach out to stations who are playing you and just say, hey, I'm coming into town. You can also do giveaways, tickets. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it and work it. Most college campaigns usually start with like just an 8-week kind of window. It depends on the promotion company, but what the main takeaway of this is you want to have the other things happening really before considering budgeting and paying for radio. You just want to get some other things happening first. And I would encourage any artists who have only put out a couple singles to wait till you're doing a bigger release for radio. And yeah, these are a few tips, and I hope that they've helped.